Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Anatomy of Knitting episode. I believe this is 86. My name is Erin, and I'm going to be your host. Today is December 3rd, 2015. It is a Thursday. The boys are at the creche, and so I have a chance to record. I didn't record last week because I had to make a trip downtown and buy some buttons and do some other errands. So here I am. Let's see. I have, I guess, a little bit of week in review. I have a finished object. I have some works in progress. So, and then I think maybe we'll talk a little bit about Christmas crafting. So, let's get started. And we got a yawn by Miss Lola there. It is currently a very rainy day here in Cork, Ireland. Unfortunately, my lighting is not the best. We usually have some nice morning light coming in through the front window, but it is all gray and yucky and very rainy. Are you coming down for a visit? Yeah? Let's see. So the week in review, the boys have been a lot better since their illness. Haven't gotten any more illnesses since. We've been introducing all of the Christmas stuff. Oh, that's nice and bright. I guess I just have to come forward a little bit more. We've pulled out all of the Christmas decorations. We've got our tree up. It's right in front of the front window there. And we've put some of the decorations on. Sweetie pie, I love you, but Mommy's trying to record, so I'm just going to put you up on my foot, okay? Let's see. They are really enjoying the Christmas tree. When we come down in the mornings, they like to say good morning to it and just stare at the ornaments. There's a couple that they really like to touch and kind of feel, and one of those is one of these wooden snowmen that we got from Katie Wolfart, which is a German, I guess it's a German Christmas decoration company. And I believe my parents got some of these snowmen from when they were on their trip to Germany. Excuse me. Let's see. I've tried to show them how to hang up some of the ornaments. Sadly, they haven't quite gotten the concept yet. We have had one ornament disaster. They love to play with this dolphin ornament that I've had for a while. And it was on one of the lower branches, and Malcolm liked to touch it and pick it up and feel it and try and hang it back on the tree. Unfortunately, it fell on the ground and part of its tail broke off. I have been able to super glue repair it a little bit, so that's a good thing. And let's see, what else? Oh, my father, one of the bad things about living here in Ireland is that we don't have access to the fantastic pickles that we do in the States. And Malcolm is a really big fan of pickles, and so my father sent Malcolm some pickle things over the summer. I think there were some kosher dills that we got, and he sent us some dill pickle Pringles, which sound disgusting, but are not. They are delicious. Because I was totally a skeptic before we opened them. And then the last kind of pickly thing that he got were some dill pickle candy canes. Do I have any? No, I don't have any within reach, unfortunately. They look just like regular candy canes, except they're green and white. We haven't tested any. We have a couple of candy canes that they've broken just because they've been hanging them up on the tree, and then sometimes they fall off the tree. So I'd like to taste test them, but I'm waiting until my family gets here, and we are about a week and a half away from their arrival, which is awesome. Can't wait to see my mom and have the boys see my mom and Uncle Dustin and Pa. So Let's see. We went to toddler group this week, which is at the local gymnastics club. I'd recommend that if you have a gymnastics club in your local area to see if they have any sort of toddler group activity. The boys really enjoy going. There's this big long trampoline that's like it's like a runway. I'm guessing it's maybe what they use to learn how to vault or learn how to do like the floor exercise, running and jumping and flipping and all that kind of stuff bits. And the boys like to run and jump on it. And there's a couple of trampolines that they can use. And they ended up finding a ball pit this week and playing a lot in that. So that was fun. And I'm just trying to get Christmas stuff finished, crafting-wise, because I only have access to my sewing machine for another week and a half. At least my main sewing machine. My travel sewing machine, I could still probably use while everybody's here. We got the boys one of those IKEA kitchens, and I've been thinking that I need to sew them some aprons, which I'm definitely not going to get done in time before my family gets here. So I'm thinking maybe I'll make those aprons. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm yelling so much. Excuse me. I was thinking I'd make those when my family was here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Other than that, that's about it. We're healthy and yeah, just kind of waiting for things for time to pass so family is here and we can have fun. So we shall move on. I have a finished object to show you. It is my Acorn Trail cardigan. There is the lovely back for you to see, all lovely and blocked. And the fronts. Here, these are the buttons that I picked out. They're kind of not shell. They're certainly plastic, but they've kind of got an iridescence of that, kind of like those shell buttons do. And I got a total of 9 buttons. And I had this all done last week in time for Thursday, so I could show you. But I didn't have buttons, so I went downtown. I went to Vibes and Scribes, which is a crafty store downtown on the Quay. There is a button company that's kind of like the Button Emporium in Portland, except it's A, not as big, and B, not as fancy inside. The Button Emporium definitely puts a lot of effort into presentation. The Cork Button Company is just shelves and tubes of buttons in a room that's maybe, gosh, it's quite a small room. So I won't button the last button. So there's what it looks like on. So I purchased the buttons. I put 3 buttons on Thursday. I put the rest of the buttons on Friday, and I was so happy, and I was just like, yes, this is awesome. I am amazing and fantastic, and it was right before bed, so we went upstairs, and we don't have a mirror in this room, like a full body mirror, so I couldn't put it on and kind of figure that out, how it looked. And so when we went upstairs to go to bed, I put it on then, and I was like, I slipped in my sleeve, and then I slipped in my other sleeve, and I buttoned it up, and I was like, this looks awesome. And then I looked at this arm, and I said, this doesn't look so awesome. Why are my sleeve increases on the outside of my sleeve? Did I install the sleeve improperly? No. When I knit the sleeve, and you can kind of see where I recast on there, right there, that little bump right there, I apparently had gone only a half round when it was time to do the armhole decreases, you know, the little, you know, like cast off 8 stitches and continue on. I apparently did not do that. I went halfway through the row and then did the decreases here instead of here. So this edge, which doesn't have any increases, was then in my, you know, where the arm seam would usually be. And the decreases, which I don't know if you'll be able to see because of light. Right there. Those increases were on the outside of my arm. And of course I was like, and I used a couple of words, which I'm not going to use on the podcast because I attempt to make this family friendly. But you can imagine what kind of words I used. Yeah, I was pretty upset. And I thought, oh, crap. I'm going to have to, except I used a different word, obviously. I'm going to have to reknit this whole sleeve. I'm not excited about that prospect. But then I sat and I thought about it for a moment, and I thought, well, I don't have to reknit the whole sleeve. I just have to reknit the sleeve from here up. So I uninstalled the sleeve, which made me sad because it was a very well installed sleeve. And I ripped back the sleeve cap and reknit it. So thankfully it's all done. You can kind of tell where I did that. I can see it just fine in this light, but light here. But sadly, you cannot see that there's a little bit of a line. I think once I block it, because this part of the sleeve is blocked, this part of the sleeve is not. So I think once I block it, it will look a lot better. It only took me about a day and a half to fix, so not too bad. And I have probably the best fitting sweater that I've ever knit. I'm really happy about it. Let me see if I can. Since I put all those buttons on, I think I'll just pull this on like it's a pullover. There we go. Not really meant to do it that way, but whatever. We shall do it. Alright, so best fitting sweater because I have a large bust and a large hips. My hair all lovely now. And I am definitely going to make another one of these. Sweaters, a custom fit. This is an Amy Herzog design, the Acorn Trail cardigan. I use the custom fit recipe, which basically gives you instructions for the cables on the front and on the back. And I also used a custom fit pattern to just kind of knit the bare bones of the sweater. So it gives you instructions for the sleeves and the shaping and all that kind of stuff. And it's I apparently did not read instructions very carefully a few times, and yeah, so I'm really pleased with the sweater, and yeah, I'm trying to think what my next one's going to be. I've got a few sweater lots of yarn that I need to look through and determine what I'm going to use, and apparently Lola is seeing something very interesting outside. Very recommended. She does say, and I didn't see this until I actually have knit the sweater, Amy Herzog definitely recommends not to use the recipe and the pattern, you know, that kind of sweater if it's your first custom fit sweater, which is what I did. But it's not that hard. I mean, basically it's reading 2 patterns at once, and yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. So very pleased. The yarn is a little bit rustic. I am using, let's see if I still have a, yes I do. This was the Blarney Woolen Mills Donegal Tweed hand knitting wool. And I think I used a total of see, it was 12 skeins to begin with. 9 skeins, maybe? Because I think I have 3 left. And there's some people maybe arguing outside. We shall see. I don't know what they're doing. Workmen. We've had a vacant house. Vacant? Next to us since we moved into this neighborhood, and they're doing a bunch of work on it now. So I don't know if they're trying to sell it or what's happening. So, finished object. Works in progress. I only have 2. I did do some work on my Sweet Georgia socks. They've been sort of neglected for the past few weeks. I know that once my family gets here and I won't have access to my sewing machine, there was going to be a lot more knitting. My husband is messaging me, so I will make things silent. Here is the Sweet Georgia yarns. This is some vintage stash. It's her superwash sock in the blue fig colorway. I have 1 finished sock. This is just my typical vanilla sock where I do about an inch and a half of ribbing, a stockinette stitch cuff, a slip stitch heel. I like the slip stitch just for the appearance. I don't really need it for the slip stitchiness. And then just a stockinette stitch foot and a wedge toe. And I think the last time I spoke to you, this was still in the cuff stages, and I have since finished the cuff and I'm working on the heel. So, I love the pooling. I think it's really fun. I think this is just a nice, squishy, fun yarn. And basically, I've just been dragging my feet on these socks. There's no reason. I mean, I've been working on other things like the sweater. So, those are the socks. And the last thing I've been working on is something I told you about a few weeks ago, the sheep hide hat. And this is by Kate Davies. And I purchased this as a kit, which you can see here. There's a couple of yarns missing from it. I believe I purchased this from Jamieson and Smith. Is it Jamieson and Smith? Let's look. For some reason, I am thinking that I'm incorrect. Nope, it's Jamieson and Smith. Shetland Supreme is the yarn that it calls for. And it's a celebration of Shetland sheep in their marvelous many-hued variety. Apparently these are all of the different shades you can have for Shetlands. And I started this, gosh, maybe about last week. And I have... So I've gotten that row of sheep completed. So the row of sheep there. And those 2 bands of that kind of square-looking chain thing there. I've gotten that completed. And I'm currently working on these little triangles that you can see right above the sheep. So you can see the start of that. Looking pretty good. Show you the guts. Because everybody kind of likes to see the inside of a Fair Isle, which is pretty good. I am quite pleased with my handiwork because I knit. I don't knit continental. Like I throw instead of pick. And I know you can, with picking, it's a lot easier to do Fair Isle. But that's what I do. There are a mess of ends that I have to weave in. I'm sure there is probably a better way to do all this. But I have not figured it out myself, sadly. Let's see. It's a pretty straightforward hat. There is a lot of color changes. Let me see if I can get this on without. Yeah. won't be wearing it up that high usually. But I have a big head, and I was slightly concerned that it wouldn't fit my head. And I've got a ponytail, so I can't get it down any further than that for right now. But it looks like it'll fit. my sheep crown. Oh, goodness. I've had this kit for a while now, and I finally decided that I would cast it on. I think there's definitely going to be enough yarn to make another hat, probably 2 more hats, I would guess. It's a very generous amount of yarn that you get for the hat. There's a shot at the top of the hat. So once I finish those triangles, I will be able to move on to those ram heads, and then there's like a diamond motif, and there's going to be decreases in there's the chart, so you can't use your computers to figure it out. There's going to be decreases, which I haven't quite figured out how it's incorporated yet, but we will be able to do that when we get there. Sorry to make you wait. I think that is it for my works in progress. I'm really enjoying this hat, even though it's a little tedious. It's just so much faster to knit with one color, really, for me. I know some people who knit continental can do it a lot faster, but sadly I am not one of those people. What else? I think that's it for the knitting stuff. I am working very hard on getting Christmas presents done. Nathaniel's quilt is done, and Lammy's quilt is done, which I think I showed you last time. My husband's quilt is done. I made him a chevron Star Trek quilt, and I just did kind of these wavy organic lines on that. And then I've been working on Malcolm's quilts. I made him the Fireworks quilt by Camille Ross Kelly. She designs under the Thimble Blossoms name. And yeah, so I've got the quilt top done, and I am basting it, I had basted it on Tuesday, and the plan is today, once I finish talking to you and running some errands, I will quilt like mad on it, hopefully. I don't know if I'll be able to get it all done today. It's a lot. I mean, it's a big quilt. It's 64 by 64, I think. So it's not going to be like, I got Nathaniel's quilt done in a day. I don't think the same will be true for Malcolm's quilt. And then there's another Christmas gift for my mom. And then if I have time, I still need to make a stocking for my brother. And I'm also participating in the Modern Quilters Guild of Ireland. They're doing a Christmas swap, and it's either a mini quilt or a mug rug. And I am making a mug rug. I'm doing a block called the Irish Chain, and basically it is set up to look like the little patchwork blocks are making like X's around the another motif block. So you have like a 9 patch, and then either an empty block or another block, a 9 patch, and then the designed block is what I'm using. So it's going to be the 9 patch, and then a sawtooth star, a 9 patch, and then a sawtooth star, 9 patch, sawtooth star, and then just do one more row. It should end up being, gosh, I think it was 9 by 9? No, I think more bigger than that. No, maybe it is 9 by 9. Yeah, I think it is. I'm making a mug rug, and then we're supposed to make something like an extra, and I think I'm just going to do a zipper bag. That's pretty easy, and I can whip that out pretty quickly. Let's see. I think that is it. We are at 25 minutes, so I think that's a good episode. I should record next week, and then after that, let me look at I don't have the calendar. I can't look at the calendar on my phone because I'm fixing it. Let me look at Google Calendar. Here we go. Let's go to the month. So I have this Thursday and next Thursday. And then Grandpa and Uncle Dustin will be here for the next 3 weeks. Actually, they won't be here the 31st. They'll have left on the 30th. So, excuse me, I should be able to record on the 31st. The boys are going to school that day. So there will be a 2-week break after next week, just so I can spend time with my family. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope that Christmas preparations are going well for you. I hope that your needles are flying if you're making Christmas presents, and I shall see you next week. So, bye.